Justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more.
Right now, a U.S. counterterrorism operation kills al-Qaeda's top leader. The details and significance of this operation.
Plus, a break in the case. A year and a half after a homicide in Rock County, police now say they have their man.
And later, a local contractor accused of scamming multiple customers. A call for action report straight ahead. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
And a family can rest at peace a little bit now, knowing that a person that took their loved one away from them is behind bars.
The Beloit Police Department a step closer to finding justice for 33-year-old Jordan Jefferson, who was shot and killed while outside in the 1300 block of West Grand Avenue in Beloit.
Charges have been filed against this man, 27-year-old Damon Hanna. He was arrested in Madison last Thursday, and as Arman Rahman found out from police, the public played a key role in getting Hanna into custody.
That's right, Charlotte and Eric. Damon Hanna has been charged with first-degree intentional homicide. The death of Jordan Jefferson was one of 4 homicides in Beloit last year, and police say if it wasn't for the influx of tips from the public, it might still be unsolved today. 27-year-old Damon Hanna of Beloit was arrested in Madison Thursday as a suspect in the homicide of Jordan Jefferson last year, a night still seared into Stacy Nielsen's memory.
When I met his mother and them at the funeral, I just felt so terrible because I couldn't do anything more.
After being shot on Grand Avenue, she says Jefferson ran to her house, and despite her best CPR efforts, he spent his last minutes on her doorstep.
My family had to actually go to counseling because it was bad. There was like blood all over my house on the side, and then all of our cars where his handprints were and stuff like that. So it was really traumatic.
Beloit police say Hanna's arrest was made possible by an influx of tips. Many witness accounts fill the criminal complaint.
If it were not for the community collaboration and the information provided by our community members, this investigation probably would still be ongoing.
One witness told investigators Hanna visited the night of the murder and said he had, quote, just popped somebody and needed her to hide the gun while he washed himself with bleach.
I think our community is seeing a lot of people losing their lives for senseless acts of violence, and I think they're fed up just like we're fed up.
Back on West Grand, Stacy is so fed up of the growing crime, she's planning on moving her family.
This street has gotten out of control. The cops are doing what they can, but the crime just keeps coming and coming.
She says after growing close to Jefferson's mom, she hopes the memorial for him in front of her home can be a symbol of justice.
I'm so glad that his family can maybe have some closure now.
Hanna had his initial appearance in Rock County Court today, where a judge set a $500,000 cash bond. He's due back in court next week, and Chief Sales says he expects more people to be arrested in connection to Jefferson's death.
Armand, thank you. Around the state, a 52-year-old man from Minnesota now facing homicide charges after a knife attack this weekend in northwestern Wisconsin. Police say this man, Nikolai Mayu, stabbed 5 people while they were tubing on the Apple River near Somerset. The 5 victims range in age from 17 to 24. 2 of the victims have been since released from the hospital, but one of them died. That was 17-year-old Isaac Schumann. The criminal complaint says there was an altercation between the suspect and a group of people before the stabbing happened. Today in court, Miyu's bail was set at $1 million.
The Poynette man arrested this weekend in connection to a shooting that injured a 7-year-old is now facing multiple tentative charges. That includes leaving a loaded firearm within easy access of a child and possession of drug paraphernalia. Police arrested the man yesterday, but he has not yet been officially charged in court. The 7-year-old was shot in the leg inside the Poynette home, and the child is expected to be okay.
Well, let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast now. Here's meteorologist Julian Seawright out on the patio.
And a nice night is already in store for us as we're kicking off the last few hours before we head into our new day. Now, taking a look at how we stacked up for today, well, our temperatures are right on par with what it usually is for the first day of August. Usually around 81 degrees, and it was 82, so not too bad. And also the good news was that the humidity wasn't too strong for us here in southern Wisconsin. Taking a look at the upper Midwest in itself, into the low 70s as we're kicking off the rest of tonight. So still a little mild, but we're going to see more comfortable and pleasant conditions as we continue throughout the nightly hours, as dew points and temperatures will continue to fall heading into our Tuesday morning. 61-degree dew points here in Madison, with 63 in Janesville, 67 degrees for our friends in Platteville. So areas just to the west outside of Dane County are still dealing with a little bit of humidity this morning, or tonight, but as we get into the morning, we're going to start to see that start to fall apart. And over the last 24 hours, we did see some overnight rain for us here in southern Wisconsin for some areas. We got a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch for Madison, and areas just south of Viroqua did see about 1.5 inches, a little bit more as well. Well, so we all got a good, healthy dose of some rainfall for us, but we are also looking for some more changes as it's going to be dry and comfortable for tonight. But tomorrow, we're going to be back to some more humid conditions, and the warmth will crank itself up once again, which is going to be leading into our next shot of seeing some storms coming in mid-part of this week. We'll take a look at this coming up in just a few moments. Until then, it's also the best of you guys.
Developing tonight, the leader of al-Qaeda is dead, killed by a U.S. drone strike authorized by President Biden over the weekend.
The 71-year-old was heavily involved in the planning of the 9/11 attacks, and his death means all of the key plotters in the attack are either dead or have been captured. Natalie Brand reports.
Describing it as a significant blow to al-Qaeda, President Biden says Osama bin Laden's right-hand man was killed by a drone strike in Afghanistan.
Justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more.
Ayman al-Zawahiri was a key architect for the September 11th terrorist attacks. He took over al-Qaeda after bin Laden's death in 2011.
He carved a trail of murder and violence against American citizens.
Born into a prominent Egyptian family in 1951, he went to Cairo's best schools and became a doctor, but he joined Islamic Jihad and was sent to jail after the group assassinated Egypt's president in 1981.
We are here. The real Islamic Front.
Zawahiri later moved to Afghanistan and in 1998 merged his group with bin Laden's al-Qaeda. The terror organization bombed U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania and killed 17 American sailors in an attack on the USS Cole. After 9/11, the two were at the top of the FBI's most wanted terrorist list.
This does take a leader off the battlefield.
Former acting CIA director Michael Morrell says Zawahiri's presence in Kabul is worrisome. When the Taliban took over Afghanistan last year, they agreed to not let the country become a terrorist safe haven.
This shows that relationship remains tight, and it shows that we need to continue to focus on Afghanistan going forward from a counterterrorism perspective.
The White House says senior Taliban officials were aware of Zawahiri's presence in Kabul. The president says his administration will continue to monitor and address threats from al-Qaeda. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
President Biden says there were no civilian casualties in that strike.
New at 10 near La Crosse, multiple large campaign signs were vandalized overnight. Spray-painted swastikas now cover signs promoting 3rd District congressional candidate Derek Van Orden. Van Orden is running as a Republican. One of the signs belongs to a homeowner who says there are better ways to voice an opinion during election season.
It annoys me that they came and vandalized my sign when they could take and put a sign up for the opposing view if they wanted to. They talk about political divisiveness. Well, this sure doesn't heal it.
Richardson says he feels whoever did it invaded his privacy.
A judge today awarding more than $160,000 in attorney's fees to the liberal watchdog group American Oversight. This is in relation to the open records lawsuit it filed against GOP investigator Michael Gableman. These new fees will be paid by state taxpayers and add to the total cost of the investigation. It is now over $1 million, again, all paid by taxpayers. A Texas man who was convicted of bringing a gun to the Capitol on January 6th and threatening House Speaker Nancy Pelosi learned his fate today. A federal judge in Washington sentencing him to more than 7 years in prison. That is the longest insurrection-related sentence to date by 2 years.
The August primary is next Tuesday, but there are some deadlines coming up this week that voters need to pay attention to. Thursday at 5 p.m. is the deadline to request an absentee ballot sent to you by mail. Voters can still vote into the weekend via in-person absentee voting, also called early voting. We've also covered spoiling your ballot. That's where you cancel your old ballot and get a new one. That deadline for most people will be Thursday as well, unless you decide to go to one of the early voting locations over the weekend. The Wisconsin DMV is extending its hours for those who need to get a photo ID in order to vote in next week's primary. Photo IDs are required to vote in the state. We have the hours and acceptable forms of identification to vote posted on channel3000.com.
COVID headlines tonight. Governor Tony Evers and the Wisconsin Department of Health Services say 10 million doses of the vaccine have now been administered in Wisconsin, and more than 60% of residents have completed a vaccine series, with 35% also getting boosters. A number of cruise lines are dropping the requirement of a pre-cruise COVID test for vaccinated guests. In the coming days, Carnival Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, and MSC Cruises will no longer require pre-cruise testing for vaccinated guests on trips of 5 nights or less. The changes come after the CDC ended its COVID program for cruise ships last month. And still ahead tonight at 10, a call for action.
Our Leah Lynchite investigates a local contractor using several different companies to promise work that in many cases was never finished. Stay with us.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan and roadside assistance. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, I'm Scott Walker. Please join me in voting for Rebecca Clayfish for governor. Rebecca stood with me as we took on the big government special interest and cut taxes. While Rebecca and I were fighting for reform, Tim Michael's company was teaming up with the union bosses and those lobbying for a gas tax increase. Rebecca and I knew that these increases would hurt Wisconsin families, so we stopped them. There's only one conservative fighter in the race for governor. Her name is Rebecca Clayfish.
What's so great about being a Pick and Save Boost member? Free delivery on the Pick and Save products you love and more rewards like double fuel points. Boost by Pick and Save Fresh Perks, a new level of membership starting as low as $59 a year. Learn more at pickandsave.com.
It's time for new energy-efficient replacement windows from Champion.
Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Don't sweat over high energy bills. Stay comfortable in your home all year long. Call or go online to book your free estimate at getchampionwindows.com.
Look, it's a Dupaco. We're not a bird or a plane. We are a mighty credit union, born of thrift and laser focused on the interests of our members. Harnessing the combined power of more than 144,000 members and businesses, we work to put money back where it belongs, into your community and into your pocket, working tirelessly to help you pursue your dreams. Isn't that super? Join the movement at dupaco.com/super. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan and roadside assistance. Toyota, let's go places.
Back to school shopping can be stressful, especially for families on tight budgets.
Tomorrow, Josh Breiter finds out what the Boys and Girls Clubs are putting in kids' backpacks.
Plus, the next wave of heat is moving in and how hot we'll go tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. A food service company is recalling a number of nutritional and beverage products after potential contamination. Lions Magnus is working with the FDA to recall 53 products distributed nationally. Some of these products include popular protein and nutritional drinks like Premier Protein and Oatly oat milk. Well, when a company wrongs its customers, who is there to hold them accountable?
Well, our Leah Lynchite asked that question after dozens of complaints to our Call for Action team over a contractor who used 3 different companies to promise work that was never finished or wasn't finished right. Here's her Call for Action report.
First day that I started, I had 1 case from this group of companies.
Type Tyler Hansen into the Call for Action database, and you'll get a sense of the all-consuming work CFA volunteer David has been doing 6 months since that first case.
The Call for Action team has probably got in excess of 25 cases.
They all stem from a contractor, his 3 or so companies, and countless complaints from consumers who say they paid early deposits for shoddy housework or no work at all.
Some people have lost thousands of dollars with this process.
This front door you could kind of see is a disaster. I put down a deposit of $5,000.
Dean Schrader owns the Monona Bait and Ice Cream Shop.
No plate there.
He hired Hansen under the business EcoView Madison for some window work.
All the molding sticks out.
That he says was never done correctly.
Basically, after they came and put in the windows and the doors, it was just a total nightmare. I mean, the communication wasn't there. There's places in the house that are incomplete still. Windows leak air, doors are damaged. Front door of the house, the molding's being held on packaging tape.
From small business to the science of business.
I'm assistant professor at the Department of Consumer Science at the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Professor Lydia Ashton hired Hansen's EcoView arm for some homework because it was the local branch of a nationally known brand with good reviews. Another deposit gone. She says shoddy work and unkept promises. By now, a story we've heard before.
By October, it became a little bit obvious to us that we were not going to go anywhere because, you know, we kept on reaching out and we kept getting excuses.
Part of the puzzle is many of these folks have dealings with different companies, all of them apparently operated under Hansen.
The first company that I became aware of was EcoView, and they are now permanently closed. Then they've moved on to Weather Sealed of Wisconsin and then Badgerland Baths of Wisconsin, all out of the same address on Stoughton Road, all with the same phone number.
At least 3 businesses in question, 24 call for action cases, and very little contact with Hansen himself had us asking, how widespread is this problem, and what are authorities doing about it?
I ran a rough total of what I thought the total amount of money that I was dealing with was, and it exceeded $100,000 easily.
We talked to the Better Business Bureau first, who said Weather Sealed of Wisconsin has an F grade through their rating system. To date, the BBB has received 44 complaints against them. Since March, it says it has not received a response from the company, despite 24 new complaints during that time. We also checked with the Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection. The division doesn't comment on specific investigations, but it counts a combined 69 complaints against EcoView Madison, Badgerland, and Weather Sealed. The division said it hasn't referred any cases to the Dane County DA, but we did check there anyway to see if anyone else had. He didn't respond to our questions about open cases against Hansen or his companies, but the DA did refer us to CCAP, where a list scrolls on.
Hi, I'm looking for Tyler.
We called, texted, and emailed Hansen.
Still trying to get a hold of him.
We also stopped by the storefront, currently closed.
I'm looking for your neighbors.
They're getting evicted out of there, but I forgot to tell you.
They're getting evicted.
Eviction paperwork was indeed filed against Hansen's company, but the landlord says they came to an agreement to vacate the property on Stoughton Road.
Stay away from him. He'll gladly take your money, and you'll never see any services from him.
Many of Hansen's wronged customers say they don't think they'll ever see their money again either.
We want to make sure that that other people know about Tyler and all the businesses he has a name under, to avoid doing the same mistake we made of.
Alert others to this practice. That's David's goal now, too.
It's just sad. I don't understand how he can continue to function realistically, but he's getting away with it.
In Madison, I'm Leah Lynchide with this Call for Action report.
Our Call for Action team has seen some success in these EcoView Madison cases. One of our volunteers got $4,600 back for one woman who was trying to get window work done while also caring for her dying husband.
Another case, one former customer says they agreed to loan Hansen $4,000 to help pay off his car. That family got about $3,700 back thanks to our team.
However, we have also continued to receive call for actions from former customers of Tyler Hansen's who have not gotten their money back as recently as last week.
If you have a consumer complaint that needs solving, call our CFA team at that number on your screen. They're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 until 1. And you can also call for action anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action.
And meteorologist Julian C. Wright joins us now with a look at the forecast. We got quite a week ahead of us here. There are lots of things going on in the weather.
Yeah, lots. It's going to be a bunch of up and down. One day is going to be nice. Another day, well, not so nice. As we get right into it, this is what we're going to be seeing currently on our surface map as of right now. The cold front that swept through in the upper Midwest has brought in our dew points down to more comfortable conditions for us and temperatures as as well. But right behind it, we're going to see this warm front, which is already bringing in some storms just outside of western Iowa. It's going to start to push its way into the upper Midwest, going to be bringing in some more humidity and some more heat as those southerly winds continue to carry that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to be shaking some things up for us as we get into the later part of the week. But as of right now, tonight, just enjoy the quiet and starry skies that we're going to be seeing for tonight. And as we take a look here, as we get into the SPC, we have a level 1 out of 5 risk, a marginal risk, for seeing strong to severe storms in southeastern Wisconsin by the time we get into our Wednesday. So Wednesday is going to be the day that we're going to be watching for. However, Tuesday morning, again, as we're waking up, it's going to be rather quiet. Still going to see those temperatures around the 60s. By the time we get into our lunchtime hour, we'll start to see that southerly flow of winds starting to bring in some heat into southern Wisconsin. So by the time we get into our evening hours, temperatures are going to be flirting with the upper 90s, or the lower 90s, excuse me, in the upper 80s. But the humidity in itself is going to be pushing heat indices into the lower 90s as well. So expect it to be a bit toasty by the time we get into our Tuesday evening. And then overnight, we're going to be watching for a collection of some storms starting to develop just north of the Dells. It's going to be stretching in from Black River Falls all the way to Wautoma. And then we're going to see a line start to develop as well. Bit of some bowing action, as you can take note. So we could be a key indicator of some of these storms starting to bring in some high winds into our early morning hours. Now, we'll be tracking these storms throughout much of our morning show, so make sure that you're tuning in, because we are going to start to see some of those storms stretching its way from Viroqua all the way to our friends in Sheboygan as well by the time we get into our late Wednesday morning. Now, note, not a whole lot of storm activity in Dane County and areas just to the south, but we could start to see some showers starting to fire off by the time we get into our afternoon. And early afternoon could see some storms starting to reach their way into Dane County, but it's going to start to phase out by the time we get into our Wednesday night. Now, since we are looking at the line of storms to mainly be north of Dane County, that's where we're also going to be seeing quite significant amount of rainfall, from inch to and a half to about 2 inches of rain from Camp Douglas to Wautoma, and even for the Dells as well. So that's one thing to be mindful of over the next day or two and to be prepared for. So a few things going to need to know. Things are going to be warm as we get into our Tuesday, which is going to set up our Wednesday for potentially seeing some strong to severe storms in southern Wisconsin. But afterwards, Thursday and Friday are going to be rather quiet. But then as we get back to Saturday and Sunday, we have another shot of heat to be bringing in some storm-like conditions as we head into this weekend. So this weekend may not pan out to be the best in terms of weather, but next week, as of right now, rather quiet once again, but still going to be into the milder and even more seasonable temperatures of those lower and middle 80s as we get next week rolling for us. It's going to do for weather. Over to you, Zach.
And coming up in sports, Wisconsin volleyball picked to finish exactly where they ended each of the last 3 seasons, on top of the Big Ten. That and other preseason honors for the Badgers. Next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
With the best service, quality, and prices, Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. To help you remember, I made this cheer. V value. A, awesome value. L, lots of value. U.
For a limited time, get free kids glasses and eye exam only at Stanton Optical. Walk-ins welcome.
I'm Tim Michaels. The radical left, they're destroying everything we love about America. And too many establishment Republicans, they're along for the ride.
Tim Michaels, Army veteran, endorsed by President Trump.
I'm not some career politician. I'm a self-made Wisconsin businessman who doesn't give a rip about the special interests or their money. I'm Tim Michaels. I'm running for governor to turn Madison upside down and take back the freedoms that make Wisconsin great.
Tim Michaels for governor, endorsed by President Trump.
It's Terrific Tuesdays at Hy-Vee. This Tuesday, 6 packs of Coke, only $1.88. 2 pounds of Hy-Vee shredded cheese, only $4.99. Roma tomatoes, only 77 cents a pound. And Craven flavor potato chips, only 99 cents. Tuesday only. And save even more with Hy-Vee Fuel Saver. Right now, save up to $4.50 per gallon with your Hy-Vee Fuel Saver Plus Perks card. And visit HyVeeDeals.com for even more deals.
No job's too big, no job's too small. We'll fix them all.
Fixing broken garage doors, that's all we do here at Precision.
We support the military.
We're proud to be veteran-owned and operated. Whether it's a broken spring or a new door, we've got you covered.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
In a recent clinical study,
patients using Salonpas patch reported reductions in pain severity,
using less or a lot less oral pain medicines,
and improved quality of life. That's why we recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me, Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
I love this state. Knock on any door in any county, and you'll find good-hearted, hard-working folks. People whose businesses I proudly helped as Lieutenant Governor. Hard work needs to be respected again, with fair wages and opportunities to get ahead. That's how my parents opened doors for me. My mom was a teacher and my dad worked third shift. I'm not one of these millionaires. I work just as hard for you as you work for your family. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
The Wisconsin volleyball team tips off Big Ten play on September 23rd when they welcome Northwestern to the Fieldhouse. And the reigning national champs are projected, at least on the conference level, to run it back. Kelly Sheffield's squad is the preseason favorite to win the Big Ten ahead of Nebraska and Minnesota. Badgers have dominated the league since Sheffield took over. They've won 3 straight Big Ten championships, and in the last 9 seasons are 138-35 in conference play. Devin Robinson, Anna Smrek, and Sarah Franklin made the Big Ten's preseason all-conference team. Robinson is coming off a sophomore campaign where she finished 3rd on the team in points, while Smrek was the MVP of the NCAA National Championship. Franklin was a first-team All-Big Ten selection last season at Michigan State. Josh Hader is a 4-time All-Star, a 3-time National League Reliever of the Year, and he leads the MLB with 29 saves this season. And as of this afternoon, he's no longer the Brewers' closer. Milwaukee sent the left-handed pitcher west to San Diego, and in return, the Brew Crew got Padres closer Taylor Rogers and 3 other prospects. It wasn't an easy decision, but one, according to David Stearns, that needed to be made.
While today was a difficult decision, and these decisions are not easy to trade good players on a good team, we believe it's the right decision for the organization. To give us the best chance to remain competitive for as long as possible and ultimately win a World Series.
It's 5 missed practices and counting at Packers training camp for rookie wideout Christian Watson. Green Bay's second-round draft pick is missing time because of a surgery he had on his knee in June, and that missed time isn't ideal for anyone in Matt LaFleur's eyes, especially when you're a rookie. But he is confident Watson will be ready to roll when he does get back on the field.
It's tough because there's nothing like getting those real live reps, and even if it's in a walkthrough situation, when you're not out there doing it, it is an adjustment. But we've got confidence in not only Christian but in Vrabel, and we'll get him up to speed as soon as we get him back out there.
And the watch lists keep on coming for Nick Herbig. The Badger junior outside linebacker has been named to the Bednarik Award watch list, which is given to the best defensive player in college football. Herbig's coming off a season where he led Wisconsin in sacks and finished 3rd on the team in both tackles and TFLs. We're back after this.
A new Chevy is the smart way to hit the open road this summer. The smart way to road trip and seek new adventures. Go a little farther this summer in a new Chevy. Find new get up and go, find new roads. Qualified lessees can sign and drive this Equinox for around $340 a month. Tax, title, license, and dealer fees are extra. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
It's like I'm downloading in slow motion. Wish we had better internet. Charlie!
That's right, it's me, Charlie. Wish specialist for Spectrum. Let's get that wish granted.
How?
Spectrum Internet delivers fast speeds for a stronger connection on all your devices. Here. Yeah. And here. Plus, get a free modem and free desktop security to keep your kids safe online.
Get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month. Call 833-768-4999.
Why do we need all these remotes? I wish our shows were in one place.
Spectrum TV makes it easy to find your favorites. Plus, you'll have access to over 85,000 titles on demand. And with the free Spectrum TV app, you can watch live sports, news, and more on any device, anywhere.
Get Spectrum TV for $49.99 a month. Call 833-768-4999.
I wish we didn't have a contract. Granted.
Oh, he's good. Switch to Spectrum Internet or TV, or get them both for $49.99 a month each, all with no contracts. Call 833-768-4999.
When your springs break, we know that tomorrow is too late.
At Precision, we're prepared. We have everything that we need on the vehicle to fix just about any garage door the same day.
We need to take care of these issues right away and get you moving so that you continue on with your life.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Habitat Restore is full of great finds at great prices for a great cause. With a unique inventory of high-quality, low-cost goods, you can save money and feel good about your purchase. Shop Restore Dane County today.
I want to share my story so others can know that they are not alone.
When my mom and dad were first expecting, the pregnancy had complications and there was very little chance of survival. My mom's health was at risk too. She chose to end the pregnancy.
It was my decision, not some politicians.
Every woman should have the right to make her own decision. And I'll fight alongside you every step of the way until you do. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Wow, this is where you work now?
Figured I deserved a more inspiring space. And with home values being up, I had a lot of equity. So I got a home equity line of credit from Summit, and voila, added a home office.
Took your business to the next level.
Hey, you two have been in your place for a couple years now. Any fun plans?
Well, we just finished a refi with Summit.
Really?
And the plan is to make a bunch of great memories.
We're gonna use the savings to get a camper.
Whatever your goals, Summit Credit Union can help you use your home's equity to go get them.
Sponsored by RG Heating and Air Conditioning, installing train equipment and servicing all brands. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Now we go back to Julie and final check of the forecast.
That's right, and we're going to be seeing plenty of dog days of summer for the next few days for us. An up and down bit of a forecast as temperatures will still maintain into the 80s. But folks, it's going to be hot and humid tomorrow, which is going to lead into our Wednesday to bring us more stormy-like conditions. So be mindful of the forecast going into Constitution Square, guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. And thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.